Hello everyone, I hope you all are doing great. Welcome back to Target Forward, and in today's video we will discuss the behavioral approach. So what is the theme of this behavioral approach? So behavioral approach is improvised, systemized and more sophisticated version of human relation approach to the organization. So it is a more systematic and improvised, or it is an improved version of human relation approach that was given by Elton Mayo. In fact, behavioralism in administrative studies is said to have started with the human relation movement of the 1930s, as D.S. book called Elton Mayo as a behavioral scientist long before the term became popular. Later, it was developed by Chester Bernard, Herbert Simon, Abraham Maslow, and Douglas McGregor. Chris Egris, N.E.W. Wick, Herzberg, Rensis Linkert, Warren Bennis, and George Holmes Furclewin, Carl Roger, J.L. Marino, and others. However, the most important champion was Herbert Simon. Behavioral approach is also known as socio-psychological approach and new human relation approach. So this is also known as, there are two other names for human behavioral approach, that is socio-psychological and new human relation approach. It aims at a scientific study of organizational behavior. Thus, it seeks to develop a practical proposition about the human behavior in the organizational setting by undertaking the systematic, objective, and empirical studies. Behavioral approach is concerned with the application of technique and conclusion of sociology, psychology, social psychology, anthropology to understand the behavior of people in the organizational setting in the scientific manner. So what is behavioral approach? So behavioral approach is concerned with the technique and the conclusion of sociology, psychology, and anthropologies, and what to understand the human behavior in the organization setting in a scientific manner or in a systematic manner. In brief, behavioral approach is a scientific studies of human behavior in the organization. So we can conclude that what is behavioral approach? It is a systematic or scientific study of human behavior in the organization. Albert Simon, in his popular book Administrative Behavior in 1947, observed that human beings who worked in the organization have aspiration and desire. Their behavior are conditioned by their psychology, motives, and social environment. The administrative science should study these facts of behavior without getting involved in the question of values. What is organization? So organization is a group of people behaving. The behavior of these people are subject to influence, and a student of administration should study these behavior wherein he will be employed to method the sociology and psychology. So organization is a group of people behaving, and what is behavior? So behavior of these people are subject to influence at the students of administration, and what they should study? They should study these behavior wherein they will have to employ the methods of sociology and psychology. What are the features of behavioral approach? So behavioral approach to the study of public administration has the following features. So it is a descriptive and an analytical rather than perspective. It is concerned with the actual behavior of the people in the organization. In other words, it deals with the fact of organizational behavior. It believes that behavior of people in the organization can be studied and investigated objectively with the intention of developing generalized statement or universal law. So why they should study? They should be behavior of the people in the organization should be investigated or should be studied to for the developing of generalized statement or for the development of universal law. It emphasizes the informal relation and communication pattern among the people working in an organization. It pays more attention to the dynamics of organizational behavior, that is motivation, leadership, decision making, power, authority, and so on. So behavioral approach pays more attention to the dynamics of organizational approach, such as motivation, leadership, decision making, power, authority, and so on. It is empirical in methodology. In other words, it advocates the scientific method like field study and laboratory study also. It is mainly concerned with the quantification, mathematization, formal theory of construction. It seeks to promote to the scientific content of the studies of administration. Thus, unlike the classical thinker who stressed the provincial approach, the behavioralist stressed the universal approach. That is, they claim to explain the universal organizational process which are common to many kind of organization. It is interdisciplinary in nature, hence it draws concept, technique, data and perspective from other social science like sociology, psychology, anthropology and so on. David Easton has mentioned the following 8 basic premises or intellectual foundation stones of behavioralism. So what are these basic premises? Such as regularities, discoverable uniformities in the human behavior which can be expressed in theories or generalization, enabling explanation and prediction. Next is verification, acceptance of only that kind of knowledge can be empirically tested or verified. What are the techniques? So adopting appropriate method of for collecting, recording or interpreting data is called technique. Quantification, so measurement and manipulation of data in administrative analysis, but only where the possible, relevant and meaningful. Values, values are being value neutral or separating values from fact as ethical. Evaluation and empirical explanation are two different things. Systematization, both research and theory building must be systematic and viewed intertwined parts of organized knowledge. Pure science, establishing a link between a theoretical understanding of the administration and application of knowledge, theory to practical problem solving. Integration, interdisciplinary focus facilitating cross-fertilization of concepts and theories among other social science. According to Smith's work, the behavioral approach to the study of public administration has 4 main characteristics. It pays increased attention to the individual and his relationship to the administrative organization. The earlier approach, particularly scientific management of Taylor, on the other hand, considered the individual rather than the things and being without taking into account the different aspect of his personality. This feature of behavioral approach is based on the more realistic study of nature of authority, decision-making process and motivation also. It studied the administrative organization as a social system. Consequently, it gives equal attention to both formal and informal relationship of people in the organization. The earlier approach, on the other hand, paid attention exclusively to the study of formal and rational relationship in the organization. Next is, it gives more attention to the means of communication and it describes the administration as a complex aggregate of human relations. Moreover, it gives more attention to the informal means of communication in the public service than to the formal ones. So it emphasizes over the informal means of communication over formal means of communication. The earlier approach, on the other hand, concentrated exclusively on the formal means of communication. So this replaced the theory of sovereignty by that of legitimacy. The traditional view of sovereignty gave birth to the theories of hierarchical structure, line of authority, chain of command, graduated delegation, and so on. The new theory of legitimacy also, on the other hand, increasing tendency to analyze the reason by given person considered individual as well as collectively feel that they must obey orders. Thus, the behavioral approach lays emphasis on the administrative leadership and motivation. Herbert Simon classified the contemporary research on administrative behavior into 4 categories. What are these 4 categories? Research on bureaucracy belonging to the Bavarian stream, human relation research focused on motivation and concern, increasing job satisfaction and productivity, research employing the Bernard-Simon model of organizational equilibrium aimed at explaining the survival and growth of organization in terms of interrelationship of motivation for their participant. Research on the decision-making process with primary emphasis on the cognitive process and the rational component in administrative behavior. The contribution of Herbert Chester Bernard to the behavioral approach has already been discussed. That of Herbert Simon will be discussed in the next chapter in connection with the decision making under administrative behavior chapter. So that's all about this chapter. In next video, we will discuss the decision making, or we will start a new chapter, that is administrative behavior. Till then, take care of yourself. Thank you. Have a great day ahead.